Have you ever imagined regaining a firm, confident erection just by changing a single habit? That is exactly what happened with one of my patients, a 52-year-old man who came into my office saying a sentence I hear very often: "My body wants it, but my penis does not respond anymore." He did not have any serious illness, he was not on heavy medication, and yet in his last attempts at having sex, the erection simply disappeared. What he felt is what many men face in silence: anxiety, fear of failure, and a total disconnection between body and mind. He thought the problem was in his penis, but in reality it was in the way he was preparing himself before sex. During the consultation, I noticed something important: he would come into the encounter tired, tense, breathing poorly, and with no mental focus at all. His body was there, but his energy was scattered. That was when I challenged him to change just one small habit before sex. No pills, no supplements, no tricks. Just a short routine, a few minutes long, to retrain his body to respond naturally. He doubted it, of course. But he agreed to try. 2 weeks later, he came back to my office with a smile that said everything. "I did exactly what you told me. And doctor, it was different. I felt the blood rising, my body heating up, and when I looked at her, the erection came strong, firm, the way it had not been in years." That confirmed what I had been observing for a long time: male performance does not depend only on hormones, but on preparation and body awareness. Sometimes a simple habit can unlock something that seemed lost. Make sure you are already subscribed to the channel, because in the next few minutes I am going to reveal what this habit was and how it can transform your performance as well. And tell me in the comments, have you noticed that nervousness or rushing interferes with your erection? Have you ever wondered why, even with normal test results, your erection sometimes fails? This is the mistake many men make, believing the problem is only in the body. But in reality, the number one enemy of erection is invisible: stress, anxiety, and lack of connection with your own pleasure. The male body was made to respond to stimulation with strength and circulation. The penis is only the reflection of an entire system that needs to be in balance. But when the mind is agitated, the brain sends mixed signals. Instead of releasing dopamine and relaxing blood vessels, it activates defense mode and releases adrenaline. And what does adrenaline do? It tightens the arteries in the penis. In other words, the blood does not reach where it should. This is the moment when many men enter a dangerous cycle. The failure happens once, creates insecurity, and insecurity feeds anxiety. With each new attempt, the fear of failing comes back, and the erection goes away even faster. This vicious cycle destroys not only performance, but also self-confidence and pleasure in the relationship. When my patient realized this, he understood that his body was not broken. It just needed to relearn how to relax and reconnect mind and body before sex. The habit I taught him would start right there, by activating breathing, focus, and control of his own rhythm even before any touch. It is impressive how the mind can sabotage the penis and, at the same time, how it can save it. When you learn to master your thoughts, your body goes back to working as it always should, naturally, with potency and pleasure. On the third appointment, he arrived different. His gaze was no longer one of frustration, but of curiosity. He sat down and told me, "I think I figured out what was missing." That caught my attention. In the previous weeks, he had been trying to understand his own body, noticing what happened before sex, how he was breathing, what he felt. And then he realized something simple but powerful: he never prepared his body for pleasure, he just expected it to react on its own. Most men do exactly that. They spend the whole day tense, tired, thinking about 1,000 things. And when it is time for sex, they want their penis to work as if nothing had happened. But the body is not a switch. It needs a signal, stimulation, connection. And that was the point that changed everything. During treatment, I suggested a breathing and body awareness exercise. Before sex, he should stop, close his eyes, and focus only on the rhythm of his own breathing. Breathe in deeply, hold the air for a few seconds, and release it slowly, repeating the process while feeling the blood circulate. This small 2-minute ritual had a clear goal: reconnect the brain to the body, and activate blood flow to the pelvic region. The first time he did it, he told me he felt something different. His heart slowed down, the anxiety disappeared, and the penis began to respond even before any touch. That was the moment he realized that erection was not a matter of force, but of harmony. From that point on, the change was inevitable. He understood that sex starts long before physical contact. It starts in the mind, in breathing, and in attention. Have you ever imagined that a simple habit, done a few minutes before sex, could be the dividing line between a weak erection and an explosive one? That is exactly what my patient discovered. After so many failed attempts, he realized that the key was in preparation, in how he connected with his own body before the moment of pleasure. What he started doing seems far too simple to work, but the result was impressive. He began to create a small ritual before sex. He would breathe deeply with his eyes closed, one hand on his abdomen and the other on his chest. He inhaled slowly, feeling the air enter, his body relax and blood circulate. Then he would lightly contract the pelvic floor, the same muscle we use to stop the flow of urine, and hold that contraction for a few seconds. This exercise sent blood directly to the penis, oxygenating the tissues and activating the muscles responsible for erection. In a matter of minutes, he felt his body more awake, his breathing deeper, and his penis more rigid. And the most interesting part is that, at the same time, his mind became calmer. The anxiety that used to block pleasure began to disappear. The secret was not in strength or sexual technique. It was in presence. By breathing, contracting, and focusing on his own body, he was signaling to his brain that it was time to relax, release dopamine, and let blood flow do its job. It was the same principle athletes use before a competition, preparing body and mind for maximum performance. And the result? He described it like this: "It felt like my body woke up again." The erection came firm, natural, and the pleasure was more intense than it had been in years. 2 weeks after starting this new habit, my patient returned to the office with a completely different expression. He no longer looked like the insecure man from before. He sat down and said, "I did not know my body could still react like this." The brightness in his eyes said it all. His self-confidence had returned. And most importantly, he no longer depended on pills, alcohol, or tricks to have a firm erection. What changed in such a short time was the way he related to his own body. Before, sex was a race against the fear of failing. Now, it was a meeting of presence, breathing, and pleasure. He learned that the penis is a mirror of the mind. When your head is at peace, your body flows naturally. With each practice, the response became faster. Circulation improved, erection rigidity increased, and control over timing of pleasure became easier. He reported a new sensation: energy. "It feels like I have more stamina all day, even for work," he told me. And it was not a coincidence. Better oxygenation and mental focus affect every area of life. This is the point where I always introduce myself to make something clear. I am Emily Collins, a urologist, and for years I have studied how small behavior adjustments can transform male performance. In many cases, the solution is closer than you think. It is not just about treating the penis, but about reactivating the entire body. This habit, which takes less than 3 minutes, taught my patient's body how to respond again, with potency, confidence, and natural ease. And that is exactly what any man can achieve with consistency and awareness. Have you ever wondered how something as simple as breathing and focusing can completely change the quality of your erection? The explanation is scientific and powerful. The male body is driven by electrical impulses, circulation, and hormones. When you breathe deeply and consciously and contract the pelvic floor, you are directly activating the system that controls erection. It works like this: deep breathing reduces the production of adrenaline, the stress hormone that tightens blood vessels and prevents blood from reaching the penis with full strength. At the same time, relaxation releases dopamine and nitric oxide, substances that dilate the arteries and increase blood flow in the genital region. That is what makes the penis fill, harden, and maintain rigidity for longer. The light contraction of the pelvic floor is another secret. It strengthens the muscles that support the base of the penis and help keep blood inside it during sex. It is like adding more pressure to the body's natural pump. And when this practice becomes a habit, the effect is cumulative: more circulation, more oxygen, more firmness. But it is not only physiology. There is also a mental factor. When a man learns to breathe and focus before sex, the brain understands that there is no threat. This deactivates the fear of failure and creates a connection between pleasure and safety. The result is a calm mind and a body ready for maximum performance. What seemed like a trick becomes, in fact, a new pattern of sexual response. The body relearns how to function at the right pace, and pleasure stops depending on chance. Now that you understand how this simple habit transforms body and mind, it is time to act. The good news is that you do not have to wait weeks to feel a difference. Results begin as soon as you change the way you prepare for pleasure. From today on, before sex, or even during the day, practice this 3-minute ritual. Breathe deeply, inhale through your nose, hold for a few seconds and exhale slowly through your mouth. Do this 3 times. Contract the pelvic floor, the same muscles that control urine flow. Hold for 3 seconds, relax and repeat. Visualize the energy rising. Imagine the blood flowing from the pelvic region up to your chest, bringing warmth, strength, and control. This simple exercise activates blood flow, oxygenates the penis, and puts the brain into the right mode, the mode of pleasure and focus, not tension and rush. In a few days, you will notice more sensitivity, firmer erections, and a level of confidence that changes everything. Consistency is the secret. Just like physical training, the more you practice, the more your body responds. And the most powerful part is that this practice improves not only sex, but also mood, sleep, concentration, and overall energy. A man who learns to master his own sexual energy begins to master his life as well. Remember, you do not need magic formulas. You just need to reconnect with your body and take back control of it. If this content made sense to you, make sure you are already subscribed to the channel, leave your like, comment on what stood out the most, and share this video with other men who need to rediscover their own potency. And do not miss the next video. In it I am going to show you a complementary exercise that enhances this method and helps keep erections firm even as the years go by. I will see you there.